7.4 seconds. That's how long a recruiter spends skimming through resumes on an average. Now, if a recruiter is spending only 7.4 seconds, how do you get the edge? How do you make sure that you stand out? Keep watching and we'll figure this out right now. Hi, and welcome back to episode 3 of the 7 Foundation Principles of Career Building. My name is Dharmesh Suryavanshi, founder and CEO of Mind Map Factory, and in today's episode, we are going through the third key foundation principle. Now, this one talks about how do you stand out from the rest? How do you get yourself that extra edge, that extra advantage over the rest? A lot of it depends on how you come across to people. A lot of it depends on what kind of perception are you creating, right? And for that, our topic number 3, our episode number 3 is all about self-branding. Now, this may be, most of us ignore this aspect, most of us take it very, very lightly, but the ones who really keep this aspect in mind go a long way. The ones who really take care of their self-image, of how they appear in public, how they appear on social platforms, how they appear on professional networking platforms. If you take good care of that, then that investment of time and effort in building a positive image, in building a clean, clear image will go a really, really long way, right? Now, I'll give you one more example of why this is so important. When I talk about a soft drink, you're thinking about Coke, Fanta, Pepsi, or Sprite. When I talk about shoes, you already are thinking of Nike, Puma, Bata, Reebok. When someone talks about cars, you are thinking Maruti, Toyota, Audi, BMW, and what have you, right? Now, the reason why these names pop up in your mind so easily is because of the brand that these brands have created, the image that these brands have created. Now, we want to get the power of self-branding, power of branding into our profiles. And that's going to be the key essence today. So we will be looking at 4 key components that you need to start implementing in your self-branding process if you really want to stand out. Yeah. So whether you're a student or somebody who's just kicking off your career, or somebody who's spent a few years working in a professional environment and wants to go to the next level, then these tips will work out for you as well. Now, just a short while back, in fact, a couple of months back, a 17-year-old reached out to me on LinkedIn and asked for a meeting. Now, before even I responded to that request, I went through his LinkedIn profile, checked him out on Facebook, saw what kind of work he was putting out on YouTube, read a couple of his blogs, and then responded back to whatever his request was. Now, if any of those things that I checked out did not serve my purpose or did not serve our purpose to meet and to make our meeting productive, I would have still replied back to him and said, thank you very much, but thank you very much. That is the power of the brand that you create on social media, on professional networking platforms. So today we're talking about 4 key elements, right? So before we go deep into that, let's quickly jump into our favorite mind map and see what we've got in store there. All right. So when it comes to self-branding, there are 4 key components, and these are really powerful components, because if you get this right, then whomever you reach out to is going to respond back positively, and your opportunities, the doors that this will open up are limitless. Yeah. By applying these simple tips, you are actually going over and beyond just sending a resume to a recruiter. You are actually creating a doorway where you can skip that entire process. So pay attention and listen carefully. Now, when it comes to self-branding, where all do we put up our profiles on? We put it up on Facebook, Instagram, maybe YouTube. Some of us, not all of us. We are on LinkedIn, which is the world's largest professional networking platforms. And you then have the other small platforms, which are like Snapchat and WhatsApp and Pinterest and what have you. We're not covering any of those. We're talking about the ones that really, really matter, right? So first and foremost, before even you get onto any of these platforms, or if you already have a profile on these platforms, take a step back and get your message right. There are so many profiles that exist out there, and honestly, most of them don't even talk sense, right? So if you have a Facebook profile, there is no bio, that's absolutely fine. But make sure that either you put up a good bio or you don't put up bio at all. It's better that they don't see anything rather than seeing the wrong stuff. If you're on Instagram, same principle applies. If you're on LinkedIn, be very, very careful, right? If you're unsure of what your message should be, of how you should be describing yourself, then have a look around other people who really inspire you. Check out their profiles and see if there is something that you can pick up from there, something that you can pick up from there and implement and apply in your bio and use in your bio, right? But your message is very, very important. Your message needs to talk about who you are, what you do, and why you're doing what you're doing. Yeah. So this goes a long way, and this is actually the first step of how somebody who has never ever met you, never ever seen you, how will they actually get to know you better? Yeah. So get your message right, and this will open the doors of connecting with like-minded people, like-minded professionals. And I've known of people connecting with mentors, coaches, cracking interviews, getting across the table with recruiters, getting across the table with decision makers. People have created, used these platforms, which are open, free for everyone to use, to their advantage, to accelerate their business, to push their cause, to seek funds for fundraising events. The possibilities are endless, but the doors open when you do it the right way. Now, the second most important thing is your image, is how you appear on social media. No, here we are not talking about trying to appear like a model. You don't have to fake it. Don't have to apply 5,000 filters to your image. That's not what we are saying here. What we are saying here is, on every platform where you exist, where your profile exists, the least that you can do is make sure that your photograph is neat and clean. So if you're on a professional networking platform and you want to project a particular image, then have a photograph which reflects that. If you're on a social media platform like Facebook or Instagram, then have a profile picture which reflects what your personality is, which reflects something which people can relate to. And the minute they look at your photograph, with either while doing something or if it's a plain image, at least the people are able to relate back to your personality. Yeah. Your image will create the perception of you before even somebody meets you or even talks to you over the phone. And that's because a picture is worth 1,000 words. Yeah, like the old saying goes, "Dikhta hai to bikhta hai," or what a seeing is believing. So be very careful when you're setting up your profile picture on your different social media and professional networking platforms. Now, when it comes to your image, if you don't have a good one, consider getting it done professionally, especially wherever you're connecting for a job, for an interview, where you're pushing your resume, or when you're connecting with people for a professional purpose. Make sure you have a good image there. Yeah. The next aspect, we're getting slightly deeper into who you are and bringing that aspect out. So the next aspect is about your personality. Now, how do you get your personality out when you're not interacting with people, right? Well, your personality gets reflected in a lot of ways. The posts that you share, the images that you share, the articles that you read and recommend, the blogs that you write or you don't write, the videos that you make or don't make, the videos that you share and ask other people to share. All of this is a reflection of who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you prefer doing, who are the people who would benefit from connecting with you, and who are the people who would want to connect with you. All of this is coming out as your personality. Now, about 15, 20 years back, you had to meet somebody to get to know them better. As of 2020, not really a necessity. You don't have to meet them in person or even talk to them in person to figure out, if this is going to be a good match or not. Your social media profiles talk a lot about you before even you talk to the person whom you want to. Yeah. So be very careful in the amount of time that you're investing, the amount of effort that you're investing in maintaining your profiles. If you want it to be fun, that's absolutely fine. If you want your social profiles to be fun and lighthearted, that's absolutely fine. But when we're talking about career building, when we're talking about getting in touch and coming across as a serious professional, then make sure that at least your professional networking profiles are clean and people can relate to you, and there is no reason for them to say no to you. There is no reason for them not to respond back to your message. That's the whole gist of what we're getting into. Now, point number 4. Only 10 to 15% of people will do this. The rest will ignore this as too much hard work. Yeah. But the ones who do this will get the highest payouts. The ones who do this will get the highest returns in terms of being accepted, in terms of offers, in terms of opportunities, or connecting with the right people. The reason why I'm emphasizing on this a lot is because, let's get real. We are living in a world full of people, and people connect with people to get more people. Yeah. So when it comes to self-branding, we are only talking about how do you create the right impression, how do you create the right perception. That is going to be one of your biggest assets. Now, how do you complete this jigsaw puzzle? So you've got your message right, you've rectified your bio, your description, your objective, everything is done, your image is spot on, your personality is coming out in whatever you're sharing. Now, how do you take that to the next level? The next level comes when you start solving somebody's problems. What I mean by that is, if you are somebody who's pursuing engineering, then start writing short articles. Pick a problem which people are struggling to solve. Throw out an idea, suggest a recommendation, show resources where things can be done easily. If you're an architect, well, same logic applies there. If you're a designer, start showcasing your work to people. If you're an artist, well, you have the world's art gallery at your disposal. Showcase your work. Yeah. What value you add to other people will determine the value you get back from others. So if you're somebody who's shy of making videos and putting out a video log of yourself, that's fine. Start writing 100, 200 word article. Start with that. It's the easiest thing to do. Yeah, nobody will ever get to see you, but they will see you only virtually. If you're not sure how to write, then learn how to write. Writing is one of the best exercises. Writing is one of the best workouts you can give your brain. Start writing, start thinking. An investment of not more than 30 minutes per day only on writing will take you a very, very long way. And I'll give you a very simple example. The same 17-year-old whom I spoke about earlier had interviewed more than 50 professionals, each champions in their own area, had over 20-30 video logs of himself doing simple things. In his videos, he's recommending 5 books to read as a teenager, 10 things to do when filling up your resume, 5 things to do when you are hunting for a job, These are very simple things, and all the information is available out there. Don't copy paste, use it, and get hints, apply your own logic, put your own rationale, and then put it out there. Yeah. Now, I cover this in much more detail in my Career Clarity Hub. If that is something which is of interest to you, let us know in the message and we'll be happy to help you. But these four elements, if done well, if done right, can really increase your chances of getting across the table. So if you're a student, if you're a college student and wanting to build a followership, these four things are a must. If you are a professional, if you're already started working somewhere and want to know how you can get better, how more people can get to know of your work, then again, follow these four principles. These are just the four stages to help you get the get the stage set for yourself. All right. So if this makes sense, then share this with somebody who needs to see this. Let us know what you think in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned to our next episode where we're going to take self-branding to a whole new level. All right. Until then, thank you very much. Take care. Cheers.